That's an audience to me.
Hello, hello, hello. Podcast regarding Grand Theft Auto 5. We're going to talk about what we're expecting from the game, what we know is going to be in the game, what looks like is going to be in the game. We're joined by three other people. Obviously, myself is here, but we've got G-Wizz from GTAwarehouse.com. Say hello.
Hello. I just accidentally did that in an English accent as well. Just so I can blend in.
And Xgrad02. We know who Xgrad is. Everybody in the stream knows who Xgrad is. He's from the Canadians. Say hello.
Hello.
Everybody's going to do really bad English accents. And
your chimney, governor.
and we have JCM from Parallel World Gaming.
Hi, everybody.
Right. So, we shall start off with what we would, that we don't know at the moment, but what we would like to see in GTA 5. So, JC, let's start with you. What would you like?
Oh, you give me the tough one to start with. What haven't we seen yet? Over the past generation, I've been really interested in cooperative games. I think seeing like Gears of War come through and a number of other games, you've seen a lot more cooperative gameplay. So I'd like to see more of a cooperative aspect in GTA 5.
Yeah.
I want to know where Rockstar's going to go with that.
Right. It would be nice to see a lot more cooperative play rather than just the multiplayer aspect that was in it, the deathmatch type games and the other stuff. It would, even if they don't, or there's no way going to make the whole campaign as a co-op, but
oh, definitely not.
It would be nice to see some of the larger missions that are in there be cooperative as well. So like some of the bank raids and stuff like that are going to be in it. That would be nice to see.
So I have a concern with that. My concern is that it's going to end up turning into kind of, if you did have a co-op feature in it, it would turn into some kind of co-op feature like you had with Crackdown, where you're going to have a specific story mission that you have to do. One guy decides, hey, it's open world, so I'm going to go to the complete other side of the map.
Yeah.
And then you're stuck doing the campaign all by yourself because the other guy found a rocket launcher and decided to shoot other stuff.
Well, I'm thinking about how they did co-op missions in Red Dead Redemption and even in GTA 4. They sort of had setups for you to do, and if you strayed too far, you would actually fail.
Yeah.
So, yeah, something like that.
I mean, that kind of happened in GTA 4 as well with some of the missions. Whereas if you strayed too far, there was just nothing to do. There was no weapons or anything that you could pick up or anything like that. So it would be something that they could sort of do is put in boundaries for where you're supposed to go. Do you have anything to add to that?
As far as co-op, I would assume that most of the mission that you would be doing with one of your friends and not just some rando that you found online that isn't going to want to play the story with you, so you wouldn't have to deal with what you mentioned earlier about somebody just going off to the opposite end of the map and not doing anything and leaving you to do the whole thing for yourself.
The unfortunate thing is, with it being Xbox and PlayStation, you're going to get some people who rage about, this guy's just not playing the story mission, he's sort of going around doing what he wants to do.
Well, right, that's why you would, preferably want to do it with somebody on your friends list you know.
Yeah.
I think you get to a point where it becomes kind of crappy, where you're always constantly hoping and praying that someone on your friends list actually has the game, because you can't. And I think this is more of a community issue than anything else, that you can't go online and join a co-op lobby and hope that people are going to play the game, because people are just naturally going to mess around.
Even in linear ones, yeah, that's completely right.
Like, I think of Gears of War as a perfect example, because you end up in a situation where you've got a 2x2 split. One group of guys has to go upstairs, the other group of guys has to go downstairs, and whatever happens, it always seems that one of those floors, somebody decides, hey, I'm just going to throw sticky grenades everywhere, I'm going to dance around, or I'm going to look stupid, and then you end up having to do the mission 5 or 6 times, and constantly reloading and kicking people out of your lobby in order to be able to get through that point of the game. Right, so and I think it's more of a culture thing, as far as, well, specifically Xbox speaking, because I don't know what it's like on PlayStation, because I usually just play single-player games over there. But that's always been my impression with games like Gears of War or games like Halo, where, hey, I wonder if I can get this warthog to drive up this mountain, and then they spend the next hour and a half trying to drive up a mountain instead of getting to the next checkpoint.
Yeah, there is that issue.
I think that co-op in GTA 5 is going to be helped by the fact that multiple playable characters, and it seems that in the missions that we've heard about so far, particularly where one is in the helicopter or one is on a rooftop with a sniper and another one's in the building, if the mission is scripted in a way where you can't go, wandering about, then it's going to solve that problem entirely, or at least for the most part.
I mean, looking at 4, how many people was it that as soon as you spawn into a game, they go straight for the airport? And that's where most of the action happens, around the airport, isn't it? It's pointless. There's no point in having any other part of the city rather than the airport, which I can imagine if they're going to do it the same way, if they do it the same way, is that it's going to end up being the military base that gets hogged all the time, and there's going to be nobody else anywhere else around the map.
Well, maybe they need a game mode called Grand Theft Airport.
Yeah.
And it's just a giant airport map where they go, open world airport, where they go running around and they can pay for tickets to get on airplanes or whatever they want to do. Right? Just kind of, I think if you make the missions like you guys had said before, I think if you make the missions contained to within like a certain area, like maybe a 4-block radius within a city, or to like a metro station or whatever, and you have very, very specific objectives. And I wouldn't even say like you can stray from the area, but more like a kill zone. So if you go outside of this area, you've got 5 seconds to get back in, or you're going to die and you're going to get booted from the game.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Or it's an immediate mission fail or something, right? So, something that, and make, in the case of Xbox, make the achievements worthwhile, right? So if you have co-op achievements, instead of just join 5 co-op games, right, make it so that it's realistic, actually help somebody complete a mission, because most of the time, people that want to play co-op are trying to get into a co-op game for the experience, and you lose that experience when you get somebody who's just jumping in and out of games in order to muck up whatever they're trying to do, right?
Yeah.
So, but again, I don't think that's just native to like what happened in GTA 4, but I think that's native to a lot of the other games.
It's a symptom of online gaming in general.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a lot of people who will just run through the map for the sake of it and aren't there for story or any other content.
Yeah. Right.
All right. So yeah, I think we've beat co-op with a dead horse.
Yeah. G, have you got something that you'd like to see that we don't know about yet?
Oh, where do I begin? We did a whole list of features on GTA Warehouse about what we would like to see from previous GTA games that Rockstar kind of either left out of or completely messed up in GTA 4. One of which would be car customization, even though we haven't seen any indication of it returning in GTA 5 whatsoever. It was one of the most popular features in San Andreas. My absolute minimum would be I would want to be able to pick the color of the car when you go to pan spray, because I'm sure I'm not the only person who had to pull a car in and out of the garage about 20 times before they got a color that they wanted.
Yeah. I mean, they don't go so far as what San Andreas did, because that just went over the top completely. But yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
It's definitely simple enough for them to implement into the game. It's not a complicated thing for them to really put in there. A few model swaps here and there, and the colour changes. So I don't see why they couldn't really do it.
Oh yeah.
The model swaps were already in GTA 4, because there were various cars. Actually, a vast majority of the cars had variations of them, where some of them would have spoilers, some wouldn't, some would have hood scoops, some wouldn't, etc. Mostly with the gang cars, but I mean, obviously the models were already there, and the spawning mechanism was able to randomly generate through them. So, I mean, it's obviously something that they could do. They've done it in the past.
Well, I'm surprised, to be honest, with, like you said there, with having the different variations of each car. I'm surprised that with one of the DLC packages, it would more likely fit in with Ballad of Gay Tony rather than the Lost in the Dam, that they put something like that in. I was really surprised that they did it, to be honest.
I remember watching a video of somebody actually, I think it was on forums, where somebody made a script for the PC version of GTA 4 that allowed you to drive into a garage and flip through. Actually, they created a menu in an interface where you can flip through and change out body panels of cars that had that option.
Yeah.
I think I remember seeing that, actually. It's a confusing one for them to have left out, and I can sort of see them bringing it back in GTA 5. I do think it's one thing that will make if anything, a slight return.
The trouble is, if they go too overboard on it, like they did in San Andreas, it's gonna ruin it. Not ruin the game, but it's gonna put a bit of a downer on it. I think they've done way too much in San Andreas with the customization of everything, really.
Well, that really fit in with the era and the main character.
Yeah, I mean, everything that was in San Andreas did sort of fit in with the image they were trying to portray. I mean, yes, some of the customization was a bit too much in San Andreas, especially when it came to the characters. But I don't really think the car customization is too much.
No. But it was one of them things. I mean, the whole customization element is something that I'm on the fence about a little bit, to be honest. But
well, I think if you're going to have the customization of stuff like clothing and whatever else, then car customization is just like, it's a natural evolution. It's something that you should have in there. At least the color. I could care less about adding or removing a spoiler or having spinning rims or whatever, but if you can change the color of the car to whatever color you want, as opposed to it being randomized, then I think that it's a very simple change, and I think it'll keep a lot of people from just kind of like was said before about just running in and out of paint and spray. Spending half their day in and out of paint and spray just to get a car they're going to only use for about 5 minutes anyway until it's total, right?
And if they're going to have the customization in it, it's going to cost you a lot of money to keep going in and out of paint and spray, which you won't have to spend on other stuff, because in San Andreas, money wasn't so much as short as it was in number 4, but once you ended up customizing a lot of your vehicles, especially at the beginning sort of areas of the game, it became ended up that you had no money left to spend on ammo or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, they did say they want money to have more of a purpose in this one, so that could be one of the aspects.
The big thing, obviously, when San Andreas got later on in the game, was that you had a lot of money that you didn't know what to do with because of the casinos and stuff like that. So
that's sort of the problem in any of these games. So I mean, you always get to a point where you are essentially the god of the town.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose that's the whole purpose of GTA, though. That's the whole purpose of GTA, isn't it? You're supposed to be able to take over the city and everything like that.
Yeah. Apart from GTA 4, in which case you sort of went from your crappy apartment to a crappy apartment and sort of went, oh, is that it?
Yeah, it wasn't the same kind of atmosphere like you had in the previous games.
No,
GTA 4 is more pessimistic than where I live. I live in a really pessimistic area.
But hopefully they don't go too overboard on it. I would like to see it come back in again, but hopefully
yeah,
they
you
don't
wouldn't
go
want it
too
to be like the
overboard on it.
focus of the game, though, obviously.
But I mean, by the looks of it, I mean, we'll go over it a bit later when we go through the screenshots and stuff like that, but there's going to be some weapon customization by the looks of it as well, which would be nice.
But do you really need weapon customization in a game like this?
I don't think so.
Right, like it's essentially a third-person shooter if you think about it, and they don't really focus on the models of the gun. So whatever you kind of pick up, it's small enough that you're not going to really notice if you've added anything to it. Unlike an FPS where you spend most of your time with the gun taking up 3/4 of your screen if you're playing on Xbox, right? So I think that's probably where it becomes more of a want. Whereas weapon customization, like, I think it takes a back seat to the thing that that this game is essentially based off of, which is stealing cars.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
so it's more important to have car customization and aircraft customization or whatever than it would be to have like gun models or different styles of running shoes. Which really annoyed me with San Andreas was the fact that you could, there's about 150 different variations of running shoes.
That's a point there. The aircraft customization would be nice. That would be something that's
like I would love to fly around in a solid gold jet. I think that would be cool.
Well, I always remember back when GTA 3 came out, we're talking a long time ago, we all used to have like the Action Replay 2 or the Game Shark, and we used to be able to sort of mod the cars that are stored in your garages on your save game and make like solid gold Banshees that were bulletproof and everything.
Yeah, I remember.
And that was a lot of fun. I remember doing that, and we all used to take like crappy pictures on our digital cameras and upload them to what was the old GTA warehouse back then.
Yeah,
I think Scarlett in the stream brought up a good point. He's saying, well, why not have stat upgrades?
I was gonna bring that up. Yeah, it depends how RPG-fied they want to make it, though, doesn't it? I suppose. Yeah. Because if you put stat upgrades on the gun, you're gonna have to see the stats of the gun before and after, because otherwise you're just not gonna know, are you? And if they do go too overboard on that, it's just gonna turn into an RPG.
Yeah, you want to make sure you don't turn into Spreadsheet the video game.
Yeah. But that would be nice to like if you're going to be able to upgrade your weapons and stuff like that. I mean, there I can't even remember. I can't think for the life of me. Was there a silenced pistol in 4?
There must have been at least one or two.
Yeah, because
I mean, when you talk about weapon customization, though, I mean, what sort of degree we talk? We talk about swapping out the models, like. Or are we talking upgrading like magazine size for future weapons?
Well, yeah, magazine sizes and scopes and stuff. Because you get a scope on the sniper rifles and stuff. It would be nice to have some sort of scope on some of the SMGs and stuff like that. So that you're not always just guessing where the bullets are going to go. Like, I mean, I know it has a crosshair on it, but it would be nice to have an SMG with a small scope on it or something like that. And I mean, as I say, when we go through the screenshots later, there does seem to be. Not from the player perspective, but from the NPC perspective, it looks as though they're going to have some sort of weapon customization anyway.
I could see them doing this more for multiplayer rather than in the single player, similar to what they did in Max Payne 3.
Yeah. It would be.
Yeah, Max Payne 3 was all about getting the weapons quite accurate. You know, it was a big part of the game. It was in all their pre-release material.
Yeah. That would be something. I mean, but I hope they don't make it. I mean, because it was an absolute ball ache to level up in GTA 4 Online. You never really knew how much experience you were getting for anything, and it would be nice to have a sort of like an indicator for that kind of stuff. And if they are going to have unlocks and stuff like that, I prefer it to be the money that you earn during the game and you use that rather than the money being your experience. Use your money to unlock your weapon customizations and stuff like that, and your vehicles.
Well, I think as the games have gone on, like Rockstar have sort of refined their approach to multiplayer as it goes on. I mean, you look at how successful Red Dead Redemption was.
Yeah, that's. I mean, there we go again. That's with you say Red Dead Redemption. It's one of them games as well, which they went slightly towards the RPG element with Red Dead Redemption. Not majorly into it, but it was a step towards making an RPG style of game rather than.
Well, most games now are incorporating that RPG style into it. I mean, it's sort of unavoidable. There's been a number of articles in the past saying about how these various RPG elements are creeping into games, from basic customization through to stat tracking and everything.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like RPG games, and it would be nice to have sort of like just a little bit of information about your cars and your weapons and stuff like that in GTA, but I just hope that if they do put it in, they don't go too overboard with it.
Yeah, you don't want to be overwhelmed.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I would be the first one to jump on if they brought out a Grand Theft Auto MMO. That would be fantastic, but but if you're just going to bring out a standalone game that follows on with the series, then then don't go too overboard with it.
Yeah.
I was going to move on to the next topic, but I've completely forgot what mine was going to be.
Professionalism.
X, is there anything that you'd like to see that maybe would convince you to pick it up? Just in case the stream doesn't know, X is not a massive GTA fan, but we've got him here as a note on the side, as it were, to kind of like provide the other end of the spectrum.
An unbiased viewpoint.
Yeah.
So I guess I should probably really kind of I guess I should explain myself as to why I'm not, not a big GTA fan. It's not necessarily Grand Theft Auto. It's just Rockstar in general. I see a lot of recycling cross games. So Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption and Max Payne 3, everything looks always so similar to me. It always feels the same.
Well, that is because they do use the same engine, though, so that's sort of unavoidable.
Completely. Yeah. No. The one thing I said that was the difference between Max Payne and Grand Theft Auto is the fact that Max Payne had bullet time, and for me, I don't like every 2-3 years trying to rehash the same thing. It's great that they move it from city to city, like we were in New York, and then we went to LA, and then we were back in New York, and it just seems to me like when you've got a game like this, you've got you could do like Grand Theft Auto Europe. You could have them like go to different cities and really make it into an interesting game. He starts in London, moves off to Paris or Madrid or whatever. You've got ample amount of different variations of metropolitan areas that you can use, and there's different styles of gameplay. The problem that I had with Grand Theft Auto, especially Grand Theft Auto 4, was the fact that I spent more time running around beating up pedestrians just because it would take me about a half an hour to get from one destination to my objective.
Yeah, you're not going to like this one then, because the size of what they've hinted at that this one is going to be,
it's epic in scale.
Yeah,
unless it's an RPG. I had no problem with Skyrim. Skyrim was ridiculously big. Skyrim was bigger than anything I had ever played before on Xbox. But I didn't have a problem with it because of the fact that once you had discovered a location, you could fast travel. But then you'd get into these missions, I'm going again back to Grand Theft Auto, where you have a time limit, and sometimes, unless you're an absolute pro at driving those cars, you would never make it to your objective on time. And that to me was my biggest issue. And then the difficulty grade, it was almost on, I would say, probably a 2-degree slope, because you would go from battling just regular Joe Blow henchmen to all of a sudden full-on assault-wielding, bulletproof guys that you could only kill by using a special weapon that you should have picked up 5 missions ago, but you didn't because you were too busy doing something else. And to me, it just became cumbersome to play instead of enjoyable.
Yeah. I suppose GTA is a love-hate kind of game, isn't it? There's no middle ground. There's no I kind of like it. It's either you enjoy it or you don't.
Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, just to go with like the other outside of America sort of thing is Rockstar kind of builds the Grand Theft Auto series to be sort of riff on American culture.
Yeah.
And they do sort of like riff off the American dream and the American celebrity culture, which is why you do sort of see New York and why you're going to be seeing Los Angeles in this one, because it's such a unique city and they can do a lot of riffing of American culture, and that's sort of the way it's always been.
I mean, they tried London before, didn't they? Ages and ages and ages ago, but it didn't take off very well. I mean, I know it was just sort of like a reskin of GTA 1, more or less. But
yeah, London. It was set in 1960. I'm trying to remember if it was 69 or 61. There was an additional mission pack, but the GTA London part has sort of became the forgotten GTA, if you will.
Because you needed the original GTA to run London.
You did, yeah.
It was basically a reskin. I think that's all it was. Down to its core was that they just released a disc with new skins for the city on and everything like that. I think that's basically what it ended up being, and it just got forgotten about.
I just wanted to make a comment to what Jameson said about poking at American culture. They've been doing it since GTA 1, and it's literally recycling now. Like I have such a scary feeling that it's just going to be a 2010s version of 1990s LA in GTA 5. You're going to be this guy from the hood who's going to go and become this gang leader. And
characters in this one.
Yeah.
And one of them is sort of a Tony Soprano type character who is getting out of this life of crime. He's a former bank robber, so you've got a whole new perspective
Yeah,
There's that.
there's not just one character you play in this one.
Yeah.
There's three, isn't there? You can switch between.
I mean, you know, Rockstar have taken some very brave moves with this, with going from like just having one character to having 3 different protagonists that are all immensely different.
I just hope that they do the switching a lot better than what. I'm going to go back in time now to when the Xbox originally came out, when the 360 came out, when they brought out Battlefield 2 Modern Combat, because that switching of characters was terrible. I know it's not a Rockstar game, but
yeah, you could say the same with the Call of Duty series, right? The switching in characters was jarring.
Yeah.
Right, and I guess if they can weave the stories together so that that these characters are not too far off from each other and have some kind of relationship, whether it's overall story arc or whether it's a personal relationship, I don't really care. But as long as they can juggle that, then I think it won't be that much of an issue. Again, it comes back to the thing that I said before, that the GTA series is constantly about some low-level thug, who and it was the same in GTA 4. Like, he started off and he was part of the crime, whatever, when he was over in his first country, and then he comes over here and runs his way up through the ranks of crime. Right? Like, it's fine to do that. I understand that's the whole point of Grand Theft Auto, but at some point you've got to find some kind of meaningful storyline to keep people continuously coming back.
Well, that was the thing with GTA 4, is he didn't really build his way up to the top of an empire.
No, he was just kind of a permanent middleman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Nico was not a very interesting protagonist for me.
No, his brother was his cousin was a lot more interesting than Nico.
And in Vice City, Tommy Vercetti wasn't really low level.
No.
I mean, he just came out of prison, but he was well known by, like, he'd been stashed away because there was no place for him in Liberty City anymore.
Yeah. It would be nice. I mean, I think with number 4, I think they tried to go back to the whole mysterious character type with Nico. I think obviously with GTA 3, obviously Claude was very much a mysterious character. You never really got to know him at all.
Yeah.
But, I think that's what they were trying to aim to sort of like edge back towards, but not make him completely unrelatable. Like, but it would be nice to not have that again, not to have kind of a mysterious character and actually have the characters do what they need to do, rather than you just thinking to yourself, "Oh, hang on a minute, what's going on here?" But
yeah.
So the JC brought up a comment in the stream chat where he says free roam should be enough to come back, and I disagree with that. I don't think that you can. Like, for me personally, I don't know what you guys think, but it's just to run around the city, which you can't enter, again, 90% of the buildings in a car, that all you're going to do is essentially try and find the jump locations or the race locations.
I agree with you, actually. It's not just enough for me. I mean, it's got to be plot.
Yeah,
and
there has to be a story.
Grand Theft Auto's had a strong plot.
Yeah. I mean, as they've gone along, the story has got a lot better. I think there has been a lot more story based in the game, but
the PS2 era was mostly sort of, you had a bit of riffing on like the whole state of America at different points, but they were also riffing off of a lot of film and television. I can't remember GTA 3. It was a mishmash of mafia films.
Yeah.
Vice City, obviously, you had that Miami Vice and Scarface.
Scarface vibe.
You're gonna have to help me out with San Andreas because I don't know any sort of gangster.
Yeah, New Jack City. It was essentially based off of New Jack City.
Yeah, and of course GTA 4 was a step in a new direction.
I think the reason they did GTA 4 is because they saw, obviously, the fact that what the bloody hell is it called?
They'd run out of movies.
It's not just run out of movies. It's because they took a step away with GTA 4 from the silliness aspect.
Yeah.
I think that's I think the main fault of that is that they tried to give what's it called? THQ's one.
Saints Row.
Saints Row. They tried to give Saints Row a bit of a grab, see if they could grab some of the market, but. I mean, obviously, Saints Row now is taken the pedestal of being the silly GTA, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, Saints Row 2 was brilliant.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. And Saints Row 3 to me, sort of, they knew what they had done with Saints Row 2 and went, right, well, Rockstar are going to try and be a bit more serious with a little bit of satire. We're just going to go and be wacky.
Yeah. Yeah. It's G, you've not spoken for a while. Have you died?
No, not really.
No, you're not. Still
He's got
died.
food.
No,
James kind of touched on the point that I was going to make about American satire, but that was about 10 minutes ago, and then it just spun out of control.
So we've gone through that. We've gone through all that. But obviously, is there anything that you would like to see, that you would like to see put into the game that would grab your interest?
Besides the car customization,
X,
going back to the cars.
Not you, X.
No, let. I want to hear. I want to hear this.
Go on then, go G.
All right, going back to the cars, since the game is called Grand Theft Auto. One thing that they did with Ballad of Gay Tony, even though they only did it on one car, was multi-generational vehicles. How Gay Tony's car was a newer, redesigned version of the Benefactor Shafter, while the older versions were still in the game. And I think that's something they need to do to more cars in this game.
Yeah, that would be nice. It was in the original San Andreas where they had like the banged up versions of the different cars. It was, wasn't it?
Don't recall that. I believe that was that started in GTA 4.
Did it?
But I'm not specifically talking about banged up versions. I'm talking about like from different generations.
Yeah.
Say you'll have a brand new Banshee, and then one from like 20 years ago that kind of looks like, like a 1980s Corvette.
Yeah. No, that would be quite nice.
That would show a lot of attention to detail, and I do think like Rockstar are good for that.
It would be nice as well to have like with the cars and everything like that. You said the cars. It would be nice to see aircraft sort of like being gone a bit more into as well. So there's like you say, different eras of cars and stuff, different eras of aircraft and that as well. That would be nice as well. But I'm not quite sure how they'd do that, but yeah. So is there anything X that you want to see that would make you buy the game, that would get you into it possibly?
If you're going to be a free roam game, don't lock areas.
Yeah.
Don't make me have to play 3/4 of the game in order to get to a specific part of the city. Yeah. Just make it available, because once you get there, it's not like you have to be a certain level to go there. It's just they lock it off for story purposes.
Yeah.
And if you're going to call yourself a free roam game, don't make me have to put in 50, 60 hours in order to be able to get full access to then finally free roam around the city.
Yeah. I
think that right there would probably be enough to get me to at least play it. My biggest issue that I had, especially with 4, was the fact that there were some things that I wanted to do, and the city looked great, and I just wanted to tour around and see what it looked like. But you'd always get to these areas where there'd be a barricade, or there's a fire, or there's this, or there's that, and you can't get across, and you can't do it. Or you had I guess it was the airport, which if you went anywhere near it, you would get mullered.
Yeah.
First part of the game. Get rid of that. If you're going to call yourself a free roam, then let it be free roam, and then just have mission areas within the smaller areas of the city, like boroughs or whatever. Make that so that there's a mission here, so you have to accept the mission, but you might want to be like, I don't know, you may want to be a little bit stronger before you come back, or you have to complete this mission first before you can come back.
They're not necessarily having it to have like you have to be stronger or stuff like that. They could lock off the they could potentially lock off, rather than parts of the map, lock off the weapon shops, the ammo stores, the ammunition.
Yeah, or the buildings, right? Like you have to go into a building to start a mission.
Yeah. And
so the building is just a facade, the first time you go around, but then later on in the game, the door actually becomes available to actually go in.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that, but leave me the city to tour it, to view what to kind of get my feel of the area, find my shortcuts for my 30-minute drives for my 10-minute missions, and and I'll be happier.
Yeah, it's I think one of the main reasons that they do lock off the areas, as you say, one of them's for story reasons, but the other one is to stop you from getting two higher level guns from that are supposed to be used later on in the mission to use at the beginning, because then you'd be too overpowered. You'd blitz through the beginning and go through. But I think the easiest way to do that would be to lock the ammunition stores so you can't get.
Well, I think what they did in like Vice City and that was they would unlock the guns as you progress to a certain point in the story, and even then, like, the guns were really expensive.
Yeah.
But someone has brought up a point in the stream saying that Rockstar have actually said the entire world's going to be open from the start.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, with the entire map will probably be open from the start, but I can't imagine seeing that everywhere is going to be open from the very beginning.
well, no, they'll probably limit a few things to you, but
Yeah, I can't see you jumping into the game and then popping into an airplane and flying around the city.
Yeah. So long as we know that something's something is going to be in the game that would make you enjoy X, and it might be something to convince you to buy it.
So again, not necessarily enjoy, but I'd be willing to pick it up and at least give it a try.
Yeah.
I bought GTA 4 and I felt burned because I put about 80-90 hours into the game and never actually ended up finishing the story, and got into multiplayer, and multiplayer was broken from the beginning, and it just really turned me off of Rockstar. So I didn't play Red Dead Redemption, I didn't play Max Payne, I just essentially put on a personal boycott and just said, you know what, I don't want to deal with open world nonsense if it's not truly open world, and if it takes, if you have to invest almost, a small chunk of your life in order to be able to do it. It's great to say, hey, we've got 100 hours worth of content, but don't make the story 100 hours.
Yeah.
Make like the entire content 100 hours.
Yeah.
Make the story a nice, manageable 8 to 10, maybe 15 hours.
Well,
right?
to be fair, I mean, GTA 4's story was 20 hours.
Yeah.
30 hours at most.
Yeah.
Because what's the achievement to do it in?
There's an achievement to do it in 24 hours.
Yeah. It was less than that, weren't it? Was it not 10 hours or something like that?
It might have been. It's been a long time since.
Because you could jump in the taxis and skip all the driving about. That's how you had to do it to get the achievement, wasn't there? You had to jump in the taxis to do it. 30 hours. Scully just put it on.
But you have to have the
30.
cash to be able to do it.
Yeah.
And in order to get cash, you have to roam around and do the odd jobs.
Right, I don't remember having to do any odd jobs in GTA 4. I mean, I didn't have any problems with progression. It just seemed quite steady and easy for me.
I think it's probably just because of the methodical way that I tend to go through a game. I if something unlocks for me, I'm kind of one of those gamers with OCD, where if I say, "Ooh, new mission," have to do that mission as soon as it pops up on the screen, right? And then you end up getting, another mission, another mission, another mission. At some point, I have to get back to the story, and I think that's it's great that you have all of that content. I think if they went through the progression of the story and then the progression that you unlock subsequent or optional missions, and if you kept more of the linear path with the story and then kind of had smaller branches off of side missions, or you have side missions that expire if you progress into the story, then I would be happier with that instead of just leaving everything open, because you'll never get through it.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the trouble is that's how it's going to be again. I think they're taking a lot of it away from Red Dead, where there's going to be a lot of just random things that pop up and happen. Like they've said, that you can help different people along the way.
Yeah, dynamic events.
Yeah, like I'm totally fine with random events. Fallout had the occasional random event that would appear. You've got other games that have borrowed off it as well. Like Borderlands 2 has some random events that happen. You have other games that you'll be walking along. Like Guild Wars 2 is a good example where you'll just have a random event that'll pop up. That's fine. That's great. It doesn't interfere with the story though, because once the random event is finished, you move on and you're done. It doesn't unlock yet another random event, right?
Yeah. Oh well, this was the same in Red Dead Redemption and going to be the same in GTA 5.
Yeah.
So again, I'm going off the experience of only having played GTA 4. I did not play Red Dead Redemption. I got to the point where I said, "Oh, it's another 100-hour game that I'm just not going to have time to play because I'm going to get sidetracked."
So I think you missed something with Red Dead. I think Red Dead
was wonderful.
Was a fantastic.
Well, I might pick it up now that it's like $10. I might pick it up and try and give it a go in the new year. Maybe that will kind of alleviate some of my concerns that I have for GTA 5. Because I do honestly have concerns that I'm going to start playing it and then it's going to end up sitting on my shelf gathering dust like GTA 4 did just because I'm going to get bored.
Yeah.
And an open world can only, free roam can only satisfy me for so long. If I have to sit there and grind and grind and grind in order to get money, in order to buy another weapon because the mission I can't complete with the weapon that I have, then for me it's not fun. Then it becomes a grind fest.
I mean, the Grand Theft Auto series has never been a grindy series.
See, I've always found it as a grinding series. Maybe it's because of my game style, but I find it plays more like a single-player MMO. Right, where you're
I've always found that whenever you get your tools when you start your mission.
Yeah, it's the only thing that I find that was a bit of a grind. Sometimes there were some missions out there that just became, as it got progressively through especially the bigger missions as it progressed through them. There was a lot of it where there was either not enough health packs or not enough body armor, or something like that, and that there was a couple of missions throughout 4 where I died over and over again, and I'm just thinking, what the hell is going on? But that's the only thing. I mean, like you say, they do start you off a lot of the time with the stuff that you need to do it. I mean, you can obviously make it easier for yourself if you do grind up for better weapons and stuff like that, but.
I've never really, honestly, throughout the entire GTA series, I never really had a problem with getting the money or weapons. It always seemed quite easy for me.
Yeah. I mean, further throughout the game, yeah, I'd agree with you, but from the very beginning, especially when sort of like you first go swap from your melee weapons and stuff like that to get in a gun and stuff. I mean, I can imagine it's gonna whether you have a pooled bank or you have a bank for each character. I mean, if you're gonna have money that is spread between each 3 of them, the characters, and I can imagine it's going to be quite a cash grind because you're going to run out quite quickly, especially at the beginning. Hopefully they shouldn't. I would expect that they'd all have their own separate cash pool.
I would imagine so.
Ah. We shall move on. I still can't remember what mine was going to be. I should have wrote it down. Terrible. No, I'll come back to it later if I can remember what it is. Let us go through some screenshots, I suppose.
Yep.
Number 2. There we go. I assume you've all got the stream open as well, so you can see them.
I have. Gerald's had to nip out for food, so he'll be back in about 5 minutes, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, wait, no problem.
He just said to carry on without him.
First one. Pier. Looking like it's on the side of a lake or something, possibly in a small park area.
Yeah, this is one of the first ones released. This was a gorgeous shot.
This is what points me towards where they've said that a lot of it. They haven't literally come out and said it's not coming out on PC. I think they had a lot of issues with Windows 8 because Windows 8 weren't going to allow 18+ games to be on.
Yeah, I remember that.
Windows 8 store worthy, but. Looking at screenshots like this, I mean, with looking at the straight edges along the pier area there and the water and everything like that, there's a lot of anti-aliasing in that, and that leads me to believe that it's at some point. I mean, you got to think the distance between GTA 4 coming out on on PlayStation and Xbox to it coming out on PC. There was a good 6-month gap before it came out on the PC, but looking at that, I can think that it's definitely going to come out on PC.
I think it will eventually. I mean, I'm not going to speculate yet because honestly, it doesn't really bug me at the moment. But I don't see why it wouldn't.
If it doesn't, then I can put down to the fact that it's not going to look that good on a console.
No, well, it very rarely does. But you know, obviously, this has been rendered on probably one of their test machines.
Yeah.
But it does look stunning, and it is going to look damn good.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you've got it on.
I mean, I think this is going to be one of the very final massive titles and the big game sellers of the years that is going to come out on this generation of consoles. I think because it's not going to be too far away before we get the next gen. But
or do you think they'll wait for next gen?
No, they're definitely not going to wait for next gen.
No,
well, next gen's supposed to be September, October time frame, so it's not a stretch, eh? This is, yeah, I know. I realize this is what, May? I think it's a May release, isn't it?
5 is supposed to be Q2 of next year.
So
it's
okay,
spring.
so probably May, June.
Yeah.
They have already said that now is the perfect time to release a game on this current generation.
When they do release it, this is going to push both of them. This is really going to... There's not going to be much else they can do, and I can imagine that if they do push it to the limits, that you're going to get a hell of a lot of FPS lag on some parts.
Speaking as like someone who's got a degree in games development, don't forget Rockstar now have released 3 massive titles on the current generation consoles.
Yeah.
They know how their engine works inside and out, and they know how both these consoles work inside and out, so they can get the best performance out of it all. And that's what you're going to be seeing here. This is why they're saying it's the perfect time to release GTA 5.
The only thing that I can see that the way that
they know how to use everything perfectly.
I mean, there's a lot of companies out there that are getting the most out of the consoles at the moment, but the way they're doing it more than anything is making a lot of the assets a lot bigger, so that the consoles don't have to render what's behind them. I mean, I just hope that they don't make everything ridiculously large or the camera too close to the car so that you can't see a lot of what's around you. Just so
I can't see them doing that. I think that Rockstar know what they're doing. They know a few tricks and that. But I think what's going to really speak to people about this one is going to be the diversity in the world. I mean, you see it here already. You see a few skyscrapers in the background, but then you've got sort of like an almost deserty type look.
Yeah.
And that's going to be one of the big things about this game is this diversity in the world, and that's one of the things I'm really excited for.
And you can actually the people that are actually sitting there, and I mean it's later on in the screen so you can see a bit more of people interacting with other people, but
yeah.
I mean they're actually sitting down and not just standing on the edge of the pier for no apparent reason. You can actually see the guy in the black there with his hands in his lap and everything like that. It's
So I'll tell you right now, if I can play the game and go and knock the hat off that guy and kick him into the water, I'll buy the game.
Rockstar's physics engine will probably allow you to do that.
Yeah.
You know, I do think that's where next generation is going to be heading more. It's going to be more focused on accurate physics and artificial intelligence rather than just, we're going to have powerful graphics, but it is going to be, really physics-based and artificial intelligence-based.
I just hope that they do reduce the pop in as well. I mean, that is the most annoying thing. You look behind you in GTA 4. You're driving along. You look behind you. You look back, and there's a car in front of you.
Oh God! The older ones used to be terrible for that.
Yeah, that was annoying.
I've been playing the old ones on my iPad, and sometimes it's awful.
That was really annoying. You'd be running away from somebody. Your car would be almost completely kaput. And you'll look behind you to see how far away they are. And you'll go back and you'll crash in the back of a taxi.
Yes.
There was nothing in front of me before.
Not the most ideal.
Okay. Next one. Doesn't really show much.
Oh, nice dirt effect on here.
Yeah.
That's Photoshop.
I mean,
that's
there's not much to say about
that's
this
a screenshot with Photoshop particling. It has to be.
No, I don't. I mean, obviously, it's going to be. They're going to have it on, like JC said, on on a test bed. And
I've
stuff
seen
like
Yeah,
their
it has
test
to.
PCs.
That's
right?
definitely PC rendered. There's
Yeah.
no
I've
way
seen
this
what their
gen
test
console can do
PCs
that.
look like, and they will eat you.
Yeah.
You know that'll be rendered in engine, but and there'll be a few effects thrown on. There's not a lot to say about it really. I mean, yeah, there's a guy's ass. There's a bike. It's Ferris wheel.
At least we know that there's going to be push bikes
Man,
back in
that's-
the game again as well.
Yeah.
That's a nice thing. I mean, I did like messing around on the push bikes, jumping off Mount Chiliad and on a push bike with a parachute on the back. That was
Yeah, I
fun.
mean, the little alternative ones. I mean, it's not like, you know, you get your Banshees and your really fast sports cars, but sometimes it's fun just to hop on a
On a push
BMX and dick about.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how they're gonna. I mean, obviously with the Ferris wheel being in the back, there's going to be some sort of fair on the pier, but
I hope there's no clowns.
how much? It depends how much they're going to let you interact with stuff in the game.
As long as there's no clowns, I'll be happy. My phobias.
Not much to say about this one, so we shall move on to the next man.
Yeah, that's a pretty standard one. Oh,
Definitely.
we need Gerald here for this one because this will be porn for him.
Yeah. Definitely an engine rendered these are, because there's no way that car's going to look that pristine and that and look at the reflections off the bodywork and stuff like that. It's just not going to happen on a console. I think he's
No,
bad.
no,
Here
it's
he's
not.
bad.
Yeah, no, that's either that or that's a part of a cutscene.
Yeah.
I mean, have a look at how good the screenshots for San Andreas looked before the console release.
Yeah.
I mean,
Man
I'm
back.
in consoles because I love consoles, but obviously there is going to be a bit of a drop.
Yeah. We're glad you're back because as JC said, this is like porn for you. This one. This screenshot here is like porn for you.
No, but go on.
Sorry.
The cheetah, the review of the cheetah.
You know how many emails and stuff we got from people saying, "Oh, they left the H off a cheetah."
Funny.
Fantastic.
Welcome to the internet.
But yeah, I mean, the car looks very nice.
Not much in the background again.
The funny thing is, you know, being a massive Grand Theft Auto fan, I'm not actually a fan of cars.
No, I'm not either. I'm not a massive car.
I like driving them.
Yeah. Well, we do see on this one that there is a reflection in the mirrors rather than just the haze.
Yeah.
That is normally on them. So hopefully you'll be able to actually look in the mirrors.
Maybe a cockpit view.
Oh well, hopefully, yeah, that would be nice. Yeah.
People have been asking for that for a while.
Yeah, I mean, they only need to take a leaf out of. I know it's a racing game and it doesn't have as much to render as what a massive game like GTA does. But take a leaf out of Forza's book.
Mm.
I mean, they don't have to make it as detailed as Forza is, but
No, I mean, they wouldn't be able to.
no, not a chance. But it would be nice to have a cockpit view. It would. Number 4.
What do you want to get me up to speed? Just what I missed
We're just running through the screenshots now, so
before we go on to the next one.
just move on to the next one. We've only done 3 of them so far. This is the 4th one.
All right.
They're not been that interesting. Well, the early screenshots were the ones at the beginning.
Right now, this one, obviously we're seeing dirt bikes, some nice little effects there. Potential for a side activity, you know,
Mini
dirt
game.
bike racing up a mountain.
Mini games, yeah, does look like it, and the different colours on the bikes as well.
Yeah, and again, we go back to this idea of the diversity. I mean, you know, we were in like Los Santos with the skyline in the background. Now we're in a dirt-ridden mountain path.
Yeah. But, I did enjoy some of the racing mini games. They were a nice let up from killing people.
Apart from the one in Vice City.
Yeah. Oh, the one where you had to.
Race Hillary.
I hated the one on the beach.
Oh, I don't remember that one.
The one on the beach where it actually had the track mapped out on the beach. That was horrible. It always fell off.
I remember the one from the Malibu Club.
Yeah.
Now that was a devil.
But hopefully, I mean, with them saying that they've made the vehicle handling physics a lot better, it shouldn't be too difficult.
Well, unlike you guys, I really am a big car nut, so I noticed these little these details about the cars, and I'm kind of really go crazy about this. Actually, one of our other staff members, SwissMiss33, he's big into cars too, and ever since these screenshots have been coming out, me and him have done a lot in terms of critiquing what the cars look like. And one thing I noticed in this screenshot with the motorbikes is that the overall 3D texture of the tires, where you can actually see shadows from the raised treads. But we've also noticed an inconsistency in this, where there's a screenshot of Trevor on an ATV, and it just looks completely flat.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we were saying before. These screenshots are obviously rendered on their test bed, aren't they? They're not. These aren't going to be in game, because there's no way that the consoles of this generation are going to be able to pump out this many graphically intensive things. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to say if it comes out, because there's a 99% chance that it will come out on PC. I mean, they'd be stupid not to bring it out on PC, but I can imagine it would look fairly nice on PC. It probably will look like this when it comes out on PC, but
yeah,
of course.
We're going through all the boring ones first. To the next one.
Tennis.
Another mini game.
Notice that the window on the house is open.
Yeah.
Potential burglary. I can't even speak. I don't even know how to pronounce it anymore.
Burglary.
Robbing of the houses.
Robbing.
Now you see, that would make me happy, right? if you could actually go into buildings.
Well, you could rob houses in San Andreas, if you remember.
Yeah, select few houses. But it would be nice if you could just, especially
they're not going to allow you to rob every house.
No. But at least to be consistent about it and have maybe one or two on each street that you can actually go in.
I mean, you can actually, if you look at the bottom window, you can see what looks like straight through to another window on the other side. So it does lead you to believe that you are going to be actually going to that house. Whether that's a mission house or something that I don't know.
Well, you got to think one of our main characters does live up on hills.
Yeah.
Either
so
that or
it's likely you will be able to.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, very possible. But tennis, we're going to be able to play some tennis.
Woo!
I wonder if it's
even
going
if
to be
it's not a mini game. Go ahead, sorry.
I wonder if it's going to be like on GTA London, where you can just knock the ball around on the floor. That would be nice.
What was an explosive ball?
Yeah. Hot potato?
Yeah.
This is how far Rockstar have evolved to actually put a 3D version of Pong inside one of their own games.
Yeah. This is all the game's going to be. Just 3D Pong with a house in the background. You have to win at Hot Potato before you can continue on. Next one. Parachutes.
Yay. That's exciting.
Yeah, parachutes would be is. I mean, I know they came in again on. Was it Gay Tony that they came in on? Yeah, it was Gay Tony, wasn't it? They come back in, weren't it? But it was fun to jump off places and jump off buildings and do some base jumping and stuff in the original San Andreas. So it'll be nice for this as well.
It's a nice little side thing, a little bit of distraction from the main storyline, and sometimes the often grittiness of it.
Trying to do some Mission Impossible stuff where you land on the roof of a car.
It'd be cool if they incorporated some Death Valley stuff in there, right? Because it is technically around the LA area. You could go into Death Valley or whatever between LA and Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So it's based on what I see in this screenshot, it looks like you're going to have that ability to do some cliff diving or whatever. Maybe there might even be like a cliff diving minigame, score points for how long you can go without opening your parachute or whatever.
I would imagine that there might be an achievement from jumping off one of the high mountains and getting into the water or something like that.
Well, we know there's going to be wildlife as well.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
That brings us to the point of Red Dead as well, where
so you're gonna get killed by a mountain lion, just like you could in Red Dead.
I've been playing Far Cry 3, and the amount of times I've been fucked up by a tiger.
Oh, jeez, those tigers take a full AK clip to kill, too.
They're ridiculous.
It's insane.
This brings us to the point again, back to Red Dead, where are they going to have, and which I hope they don't, if you kill stuff and bring it back to the RPG element again, that you can pick stuff up off them, because if they put the food requirement back into this again, that is going to be a piss
They've
take.
already said they're not going to do that.
Better not do that, because
I don't think we'll have like animal skinning in the game either, because I don't think it fits with like this world they're trying to create.
Yeah.
Yeah, it fits in fine with Far Cry because it's survival, right? But
Yeah,
but in
it
a
was similar to Red
GTA
Dead
game,
Redemption.
you should be able to just go into a burger joint, right?
Yeah.
As long as they don't make me hit the gym because I'm gonna get fat.
Yeah, that was another thing in
Hated that
in San Andreas. Yeah, you couldn't
Yeah.
run for very long.
I can really see one mission being. This is just going off of previous missions in Grand Theft Auto because I was just playing GTA 3 on my phone. Mind blown. Where you plant the bomb on that guy's car. I could really see, taking a mission from somebody where you go and kill an animal and then put that animal in the backseat of somebody else's car just to freak them out, kind of like in Godfather style.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. There was was it on the on one of the trailers where they had somebody actually in a boot? They put somebody in a boot. I can't fucking remember for the life of me. But there was that mission on the original, weren't there? Where you had the guy in the boot and you had to avoid the police and avoid it from flipping the hood the boot open to avoid them seeing it. That would be a nice addition. I mean, they're obviously going to have the option of taking your hood down, the roof down and stuff like that. But
are they going to have an option of kill or kidnap? Do we know, or is it just going to be like straight up assassination missions?
I think it's probably going to be kill most of the time. It wouldn't surprise me if they have a couple of missions in there where you have to kidnap people, but I can imagine that during bank robberies as well, there's going to be hostage situations and stuff like that.
Well, they want to make a big focus on the game on heists.
Yeah.
So, planning the heist, pulling it off, that sort of thing. So that'll be quite intriguing.
So long as they don't put an RTS style thing in it.
Oh no, like I said, I don't think they'll do anything like that. They'll keep it core Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah. Because Black Ops went downhill with their RTS.
Don't
style.
talk to me about that. That is the buggiest thing I've ever worked. Oh, soldiers, move forward.
Yeah.
Move forward. Never mind. Buggier. I quit. I'm gonna go play a different game.
I made a joke on Twitter earlier that, that there was an update for Black Ops, and somebody asked what they did with the Black Ops update. I says they put a please insert Battlefield 3 disc logo on the front as soon as you load it up. That went down quite well, actually.
Yeah.
But like getting back to the heist that we were talking about, I'd like to see it so that they make you actually get bonuses for stuff like not killing any hostages and making it out with all the cash. Or
Well, I think
to me that would be more interesting than just going in and killing everybody and then taking the money.
I mean, the main character, he made his career off of bank heists, so he is going to want to do things professionally and limit a body count.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even cat burglary, or other things of that nature. Something that's a little bit more skill based.
Staying on the robbery type theme. This screenshot here, where it's where he's on the side of the car carrier, kind of gone in 60 seconds style. That looks quite intriguing. I do hope that they allow you to put cars on the back of the car carriers again, and that's not just a random car carrier with the cars already on the back of them, because I did enjoy doing that. I mean, in the original San Andreas, where you could hook up the trucks onto the trailers and stuff like that, that was I enjoyed that. I didn't like it in 4, where you couldn't drive around in a big truck with a trailer on the back.
I'm all fine for that as long as they don't go down the road of Fast and the Furious, because that I do not want to see in a movie.
mean, it does look like there that he's trying to steal that car off the back of that truck. So I'm hoping that they do allow the back to be dropped down. So.
Well, you know, that sort of thing is always interesting to do, like as one-offs and that. You know, it will be cool to see them do that.
I'm not too sure what's going on with the wheels of the truck there, but.
No, I don't know either.
I'm surprised.
Gerald, any explanation?
No, not really. We kind of touched on this when the screenshot first came out, and we did our first round of analysis. That really don't know what's going on there, because if you look at the left side of the truck, the wheels appear to be straight, but on the right side, the back ones are pointed in, and the front ones are pointed out. Unless this is some kind of crazy, funny look at car customization where they put some crazy negative camber on a giant tractor trailer, but
yeah. No, it's I'm surprised if it's not something like that. I'm surprised they released a screenshot, because that looks bugged to shit. That.
Either that, or like I think Scarlett brings up a comment where he says the truck could be swerving, and so it was taken at the time where it could have been off balance. So.
Swerve your
there is that.
And that dramatically.
Yeah.
No, it's. I mean, I can't see the chat because the screenshots are in the way. But I mean, there's another point on here that there's lights in the background, but no lights in the foreground.
Maybe they're just coming on.
Yeah. So that's another thing, that if they do come on in a sequence and not just come on all at once, that would look pretty nice. So if you're driving down and as it begins to get dark, the lights come on in a sequence rather than all at once.
Yeah, because that is how lights do come on. They tend to be in a sort of sequence.
Yeah. And to have a few buggy lights as well, like we have in the UK, where some of them don't come on at all.
A few buggy lights in the UK don't come on.
Or some of them are white, some of them are yellow, some of them.
I've had like 3 power cuts in the past week and a half. Talk about buggy systems and electric.
And we've seen a lot of the. I mean, obviously, you touched on this, G, on the warehouse, that the different number plates on the car, the registration plates on the cars. I mean, we've seen a registration plate a few screenshots ago. The police cruiser there has a different number plate to the one that we had before. So different number plates for all the vehicles.
Yeah, that was a really big thing with me, and it seems kind of trivial, but the fact that they did it in San Andreas and the fact that they didn't do it in GTA 4 kind of just made me go, like, why would you change that?
Yeah. I'm not sure whether it was just because they didn't know. I mean, with GTA 4 being the first GTA 4 for the generation that we've got now, I mean, whether they just thought, well, we don't know if we can do this or not. They just didn't know the limitations of the console or anything like that, did they? Because it was really Rockstar's first big game on this generation, weren't it? So.
Yeah, GTA 4 was like a prototype for sort of Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
In a way. Which is odd, because GTA 4 was GTA 4.
Yeah. And
to call it a prototype for anything sort of seems to do it a bit of a disservice.
The thing is, any game that Rockstar brings out, it's always going to be a well promoted and a promoted title, and they couldn't bring out a small game just to say, oh, we're just trying out the graphics, can they? So.
Well, I think any Rockstar game is a prototype for the next Rockstar game, because their philosophy is to always build upon what came before.
Yeah.
You know, whether it be technology, story, concepts, that sort of thing. It's just, that's their philosophy, to always build and build on top of it.
Yeah. Well, I did say that this was only going to go on for about an hour, half an hour to an hour. It's nearly an hour already. We should carry on. Next one. Obviously an Audi in front.
Yeah, the front car is an RF. We don't know what the manufacturer is yet, but it basically, the logo on the front of it is basically half of an Audi logo.
Yeah.
And the red car in the foreground is a Dubocci, we believe, is the new Super GT.
Yeah. And again, with the different number plates as well.
Another thing about the number plates, since you brought it up again, they're probably not going to do this because we haven't seen it, but one thing that would have been interesting would have been to see out-of-state plates.
Yeah.
Since the license plates in Grand Theft Auto 4 were obviously modeled after New York State's plates, and then these are obviously modeled after California's. So it would be nice to see, like, about 3 or 4% of the cars in Los Santos have, a plate from a car that was registered in Liberty City or registered in Vice City, just to make it seem more dynamic.
Yeah. That would be nice. I mean, the chances of them doing that are probably very slim, but it would be nice.
Well, I don't know, because it's not a hard thing to do.
No.
You need to sort of have the model in there in a generation for just 3 to 4% of the cars.
Yeah. The thing is, though, when you say stuff like that, it's go back to the previous GTAs. How often have you seen it that you're looking for a car for absolutely ages, you get in it, and then there's loads of them?
Yeah.
So if they do if they do the same with that, then you get into an out-of-state car, and all of a sudden you get 50% of the cars you go past are out-of-state cars.
God, there's a lot of people coming here on holiday.
Yeah. And
yeah, the really bad traffic spawning is a whole other argument altogether.
There's another thing
that's down to memory. That's unavoidable.
There's another thing on here that I'm not sure if it's just light glare or something like that, but I'm assuming the red car in the background, it seems to have one of the main characters in it. The indicator seems to be on.
Oh yeah, I've noticed that.
So,
Well, the turn indicators were in GTA 4 too. You just couldn't use them.
yeah.
I wonder if maybe it could be like a mid-mission sort of GPS type thing.
Yeah, so rather than having the arrow on the screen, it puts the indicator on to tell you where to go and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that's possible.
There was a game that did that, but I can't remember which one it was now.
Yeah.
I think Burnout Paradise had it.
It would be a nice feature. Because there are some times where you just want to drive around like a normal person rather than being a complete lunatic. I mean, I don't know about you, but there are some times when I just feel like, I wonder if I can drive at the same speed as all the other cars.
Yeah, I've tried.
You do it for about 10 minutes and you go, oh, fuck this.
Well, because it looks like these two cars are racing each other, and I don't really see the point in using a turn signal while you're racing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that flare to me down at the bottom left of the red car actually looks like a nitro explosion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Coming out of the exhaust.
Yeah. Something very similar to
Maybe
that.
it's the dead animal from before.
There's in the background as well, just above the red car. There's it looks like a franchise logo up there. So whether that's a clothing brand or something, it kind of looks like it says Adidas or what should be Adidas, but I don't know. Or Adidas.
It's probably Rockstar's interpretation.
Yeah, but it looks kind of like it, and a phone box as well on the right hand side by the looks of it. That is lit up, so whether you can use the phone boxes as well, I'm not sure. No one why you would want to, because you're probably more than likely going to have a mobile as well, like you did.
Yeah, you're gonna have a
in 4.
smartphone.
But, nothing much else going on in that one. This next one, I can't even remember which number it is.
Oh, ugly guy.
I would like to point out, and I don't know if anybody has pointed out, BF Injection.
I was thinking
Yes.
more that guy looks like an ugly Phil Collins. Either that or he's walking down the street to Staying Alive by the Bee Gees.
Yeah. Although these are different clothes to some of the clothes that he has on in some of the screenshots, so that does say that there is clothing customization in the game.
Yeah.
One thing I liked is the overall lighting. I felt that Grand Theft Auto 4, even after it got improved with Ballad of Gay Tony, that the lighting was just very orangey, and the lighting in Grand Theft Auto 5 seems to be much more vibrant and a lot realer.
Yeah, definitely.
I think this screenshot depicts as well probably more or less what it's going to look like on the console version, because the texture on the whatever you call it there, the parking meter there, is not very good at all. If you saw it if you saw it that close up on a pre-rendered on their test rig, that'd probably be it'd probably be a lot better than that. But I was just excited to see the BF injection in the background, to be honest. Well, it looks like one anyway.
A lot of the screenshots they released have excessive lens flare.
Yeah.
Doesn't everything nowadays?
Everybody likes a lens flare. Instagram.
Yeah.
No, we won't talk about them. But diner possibly in the background as well. So food going to be another part of it by the looks.
Food is good.
That is.
I could go for some food right now.
And is there 2 people in that other car as well? By the looks of it, there is.
It appears though.
Yeah,
Yes,
it
looks
does.
like one of them is wearing a hat.
Yeah. One of them's wearing a hat, and it looks like because that was another fun thing to rob a car and have the other person still be in it and drive around.
Oh,
and listen
yeah.
to them scream.
Screaming their head off, and then you dive out and let the car go into the water.
And for some reason, they couldn't swim.
No.
The next one. No, more lens flare. More lens flare on the next one.
Oh, that's blatant lens flare.
Well, this I can understand because it's sunset.
Yeah.
Well, of course, see, we've got the Vinewood sign and a man climbing up the ladder.
And notice that the police cars in this screenshot are completely different than the ones in the city.
I'd also like to point out as well that there are 3 doors open on that police car, which suggests that there's going to be more than 2 policemen in each car.
Mm.
It might vary based on your wanted level.
And they're hiding behind the doors as well, so they actually take cover properly rather than just standing out in the middle of nowhere shooting.
Yeah.
Well, the cops in GTA 4 kind of used the doors as cover, but then didn't last very long.
But as soon as you moved a little bit, they'd move away from the cover and just stand in the middle of nowhere trying to shoot at you. And there seems to be SWAT there as well. I don't know if they look like normal policemen, but and the helicopter in the background coming in, so that does suggest it's going to be a 3 to 4 star wanted level there.
It suggests that this guy is fucked.
Yeah. He's got nowhere, unless he's definitely not got a parachute either. But is he got a bag over his shoulder as well? Does it look like it? He's got a bag over his shoulder or something.
I think that is just... possibly.
Yeah,
Or-
it's a pretty handbag.
Yeah.
Actually, give me a second. I'll pull up the full resolution and check it out, because it could be a bag and it could just be you
Part of
seeing
the-
through the ladder.
Yeah, part of the ladder. Yeah.
You don't have to wait for me. You can keep talking.
No, there's not
Oh,
much else.
never mind. I found it. Shut up.
Just told.
It appears that he is... It's something. I really can't tell.
Possibly after a robbery or something like that. He stole something and it's quite possible.
But it looks like it's just attached to his side. Like, I don't see, like, a rope going over his shoulder.
Inventory system? Rather than just having to scroll through the guns.
Oh, Jesus.
Let's skip over to the next one. Again, like you said, JC, there's a lot of draw distance there where you can see different parts of the city as well. Skip over to the next one. Now this is looks like it could more than likely be a cutscene, more than anything.
Yeah.
I don't
Very
think
likely.
this is going to be part of the game. I mean, obviously you're going to smash windows and stuff, but I can't imagine it's going to be that detailed.
But I did notice in this one that only part of the window, like the whole window is shattered, but only part of it actually is removed. You can see on the right side of the screenshot that part of the window is still there.
This part here,
Yeah. Well, this could be the I forgot his name now.
This is Franklin.
Again,
Franklin, yeah,
it's-
he's obviously like jacking a car or something here.
is it the same guy who was in the previous one? It looks like it from the hair. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
He's wearing the same shirt. No, that's Trevor on the Vinewood
on
sign.
the Vinewood sign. Right. Because he's
kinda looks like an old
he's
Danny.
got a blue. It looks like he's got a blue shirt over the top and like a long sleeved underneath.
Yeah, that's exactly what Franklin was wearing in the trailer. So it definitely looks like him.
And the next picture shows you him anyway.
Yep.
That's him trying to recruit him for his Genesis tribute band. He wants Franklin to play the role of Chester Thompson on the drums.
Calculator watch. I remember when they were popular.
I remember having my mate had a watch in school that could change TV channels,
Yeah,
and that was fun for when you used to watch videos.
I don't think he's got ironing board either because his shirt's creased to fuck.
Yeah. What do you mean you won't play We Can't Dance?
Get the
The
fuck out
classic.
of here. Does he have a tattoo on his hand as well?
What, Phil Collins?
It looks as though he's got a tattoo on his hand. Just above the
He
watch.
may well
area.
do. He's ex-military.
Maybe it's just like dirt
Dirt
or
or something.
poo.
It looks like a unicorn.
A unicorn. Ex-military madman has a unicorn on his hands.
Well, you know what's going to happen when GTA comes out. There's going to be the hunt for Bigfoot again.
Yay.
And the UFOs and whatnot. So I found the unicorn already. Just let it be known.
That's some of the best
It's on his
parts of the
hand.
game. No odd stuff that people...
All the
pick
rumours and stuff that end up popping up there. And in the background as well, there's a building being constructed as well. You can see the crane over the top of it.
I really like the draw distance there, where you can see actual detail from the building and not just the shadow.
Yeah. And see through the building as well, and not just jagged lines. Of what might
I'm
be
still waiting to find Darkle. Remember him?
Dirt bikes again, not with the same sort of graphical fidelity on the tyres there. They do seem to be a bit more low res than what they were on the previous ones, but maybe that's just because it's slightly further away. But
This is obviously Franklin again.
and with a hat on, by the looks, so that doesn't look like his hair
Well, that's probably a helmet.
or a helmet. Probably that makes sense considering he's on the bike. And a plane going down as well.
Yep, you can see one of the two engines is on fire.
Yeah.
So
That's never good.
It could obviously easier ways to take down aircraft and stuff like that rather than having to blow the whole thing up. Just take the engines out. But that looks like one of the planes that you were never really allowed to fly. Especially on there was no planes in 4 that you could fly were there, but. But hopefully that'll be one of the air vehicles that you get to fly.
Yeah, definitely.
And again, a lot of the terrain there as well, and a very large draw distance that you can see the mountains in the background.
Yeah, and again we go back to the idea of diversity. I mean, look how different this is to some of the other areas we've seen.
Yeah. X has been quiet for a little while.
I'm just absorbing the images.
Yeah,
I'm interested as to how they're going to manage that draw distance too.
Yeah, I don't think it won't.
I can't see it. It's too far.
Well, like I
Way
said,
too
the
far
only
for
way that they
360.
could do stuff like that is if what you're seeing there is how the camera is when you're actually on the thing, that it's that close that it doesn't have to render too much stuff around you.
Chicago Enigma actually mentioned that the 360 image quality will suck. I probably do not quite doubt this.
Yeah.
But how many discs do you think it's going to come on?
It's a 3. I think it's gonna be the same size as Rage.
I would imagine 3 to 4. I mean,
Yeah,
you got to
I
think
think
they've already released Rockstar have already released a 4-disc game, so I wouldn't put it past them to come on 4.
I
Well, see,
say at least 3. Yeah.
I think that they would do something along the lines of what Forza does, as with bringing a content install disc where you install that first and then play the game off the other disc.
Yeah.
Kind of like
Because
Battlefield's HD textures for the multiplayer and stuff like that. Yeah.
I mean, I'll be getting the PS3 version, so no worries for me.
I'll be buying the 360 version, but when the PC version comes out, I'll be getting it just because it will look so much better on that.
And I think I would wait until a PC version was announced, and because I would prefer to play it on PC than on 360, especially seeing as how 360 is going to be going the way of the Dodo within the next 10 to 12 months.
But the Dodo in GTA 3 had no wings.
Yes.
Someone flew that for 24 hours.
I flew that all the way over to the the cutscene island that you were supposed to get to. I managed to get it over to there. The only bad thing was, though, that they didn't expect people to fly it that far, because as soon as you went over a stunt jump, it would go into the stunt jump camera and you couldn't fucking get out of it. But, this one here again, it's deaded in the water.
The water
Oh.
reflection.
Phil, what have you done?
He needs his hair sorting out.
Yeah, he does.
So sticking up. But I mean, it looks like possibly going to be a cutscene again. Aiming the gun and looking away, because I can't imagine that, unless they're going to make it so you can independently look and point the gun elsewhere. But I very much doubt it. Kind of looks like a cutscene again. I mean, obviously these aren't game play shots really. They're trailer shots, aren't they? But get rid of the IGN tag. I'll just cover it up with my hand. No,
I was a really big fan of this one.
Yeah.
That does look wonderful.
Just the clouds in the background are obviously not following any sort of pattern whatsoever.
Yeah, the sky dome does look really nice.
Mm.
And we've got down at the bottom down here. That it looks like a 4x4 or some kind of pickup truck or something down here, but it doesn't look. Looks like it's just got roll bars and no roof.
That's another thing that I noticed in quite a few of the screenshots, and even in the trailer, that the traffic spawning seems to be more tailored towards what area of the city it's in, rather than what the character is driving.
What vehicle you're driving?
Yeah.
That annoyed me no end. Getting into hunting around for ages and ages for a certain kind of car. You get in it, and then there's just like 50 bazillion of them that come past you as you're driving around. That annoyed the hell out of me. Not much going on. Let's move over to the next one. There's the bit of a close up of the half Audi symbol.
Do you think that the windshield wipers, if it starts to rain, if the windshield wipers actually move?
Well, it's possible. It does look like they've actually put effort into them rather than just black lines that are on the other games.
I know the cars in GTA 4, if it started to rain or something, or if the car got dirty, you would see the streak marks on the window, but the wipers never actually worked.
Yeah, you got ones how they can see through the windscreen.
Yeah, I mean, if they're going to do a cockpit view, then I suppose they're going to have to make it so that they work. Because there's going to be, I mean, like on the others, the cars actually did get a bit of dirt on them and stuff like that, didn't they? So I mean, if they're gonna go down the route of having the cars actually get dirty and stuff like that, then obviously the windshield's going to get dirty. So it would be nice to have. It's just little details, isn't it? Little details that make the game. And different type of police patrol car there again, but with only one policeman in it this time. So obviously, like what you brought up before, depending on what wanted level you are, depends on how many police are in the vehicles.
And the color of the police vehicle is different than the one we saw on the Hollywood Vine sign.
Yeah, it's different parts of the city, different types of car. Well, you see that later on because there's different colours later on as well. Not much else. Next one, more parachutes.
Yeah, and a train as well.
Going through the mountain.
Yay, mountain.
I mean, the original San Andreas had tunnels through the mountain on the very edge of the map, didn't it? But
it did, yes.
I mean,
In fact, I remember there was actually a mission where you had to chase a train on a motorbike through some of the tunnels.
Yeah. I mean, this screenshot here, I mean, looking at it, it just looks like a different angle from the other one that we saw with the parachute before.
Mm-hmm.
But you just couldn't see the train. But,
The draw distance here is amazing. You can even see details of the city or whatever that is in the very, very back, right below the guy who is
bridge
using
in the background. Yeah, the other bridge in the
right there.
background by the looks of it. Yeah. Yeah, that's. I hope you can derail these trains. That'd be nice.
I'm sure there's probably a mission where you have to blow up a bridge.
Yeah. Although the stanchions on the bridge on the railway bridge here don't look looks like they're actually attached to anything. the bridge just looks like it's floating above them.
Well, it could be an early screenshot. It could just be a trick of the light and that.
Yeah. I mean, obviously we're not going to know fully until it gets out. People can. And there's Bigfoot there.
Oh, of course.
Obviously, just up in that corner there. It's obviously him.
Yep. I see him.
But like you said, when you were pointing out wildlife, we haven't seen any wildlife yet. I mean, I know there's.
No,
there's
they've refrained from showing it off.
Yeah.
But you know what exactly are they going to do? Just show like Oh, he is a bear.
I mean, we've seen a dog, haven't we? I mean, that's about all we've seen. But more lens flare.
This is clearly the new Bravado Banshee.
Yes.
And not quite sure what's in the background. It could be another Benefactor shafter, or it could be something else. But I'm really interested in learning how the raising and lowering of convertible tops works.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I mean, they did that in the original San Andreas, where you could use the forklift and stuff like that. It was just the right stick button, weren't it? I think that did the
yeah, but now the right stick kind of operates the whole camera.
Yeah.
Whereas in the PS2 era, to do a drive-by, it was just the triggers.
Yeah.
To look left or right. So.
Well, I mean, it could possibly be. I mean, it depends how they work everything out, don't it? I mean, they could quite possibly, which is I highly doubt it, is take the horns out to allow you to do that, because there's a lot of games out there now that don't have horns in them, which disappoints me no end.
Or another thing that actually, I don't know if I read this somewhere, I'm just going to take credit for it and say it was myself, but I figure if it's light out, or if it's daytime and it's not raining, and you get into a convertible car, the top automatically goes down.
Yeah.
Or if it's dark out or it's raining, then it just stays up.
I mean, that comes to the whole point of possibly having, like when we saw him going up the Vinewood sign, having an inventory system rather than a swap in the weapons on the thing, because then it could use the D-pad to do the up and down. Rather than you just press the back button to open your inventory, select what weapon you want, and then you use it that way rather than just scrolling through the stuff. Which would point out as well, the cars that you actually own that are in your garage, you could actually put weapons in the trunk or something like that. That's another possibility, and store them that way. But I mean, obviously we don't know. Trash bin's out as well at the side here. I don't know if you saw that little blue trash bin at the side here. So, or is it a person? Not quite sure. It would be nice to see an actual live and breathing city rather than just a random amount of stuff, because at least then you'd know what time to come out and what time to start looking for the trash collectors and stuff like that. And Mr. Whippy, why we must find Mr. Whippy, because they were the bane of my life trying to find them for 100% the car collection.
They were a bit ridiculous. They were very impossible to find in GTA 3.
You found about 3 of them. My whole playthrough, I found about 3 of them. It's just stupid. Next one. Again, there seems to be some sort of storage compartment on the side of this motorcycle as well. So it points me towards an inventory system again.
Looks like there's a pile of tree trunks in the background, maybe?
Yeah.
Hard to tell with all that lens flare.
Yeah, definitely.
It does look like it. I mean, there's not going to be much things that are that long. It's either that or someone's had massive shit. I'm not too sure if tree trunks, if them wooden pallets would hold up 3 tree trunks, though. Physics.
Indeed.
Physics, why you not work?
But look how cool he is posing.
Different shoes. With the same clothes again. We'll move on to the next one. Now this one I know G would like to talk about this one, because this is one of the ones I think that you went over most in detail with on a warehouse.
Yeah, we've got the outdoor gym, we've got people in conversation, various outdoor shops. You know, it's a typical sort of by the beach scene.
People actually talking to each other by the looks of it as well, rather than just random conversations.
I mean,
and stuff like that. Like,
you go to like any sort of place on holiday, and this is what it'll look like.
Yeah.
Maybe there'll be a bit more people there, but technological wise, you can't handle that. But this very much reflects what that looks like, and it's a damn good job.
We might actually be able to hear full-on conversations, like you said, rather than just the typical one-liners that are repeated over and over.
Like my
I mean, they have
my mother's
sort of,
my sister. Like GTA 3.
they have sort of said that they're going to go towards that sort of thing.
street entertainer as well, like you pointed out, like on when we did it, the thing in the forums, like there's a street entertainer there as well with his hat on the floor.
Aye.
I was just going to point that out. Notice the group of people in the foreground. There's a bunch of trash at their feet. Maybe they're like, what do you think's going on there?
It does look like she's smoking as well. The one that's on her own, because she's got 2 fingers out as well.
Yeah.
So it could possibly.
I mean, there is a lot of attention to detail in this.
And the one with the hat on in like the pink dress, she looks like she's got a cup in her hand as well. And then the other guy in the blue, there is smoking as well, because you can see the smoke coming from his mouth.
Yeah.
Maybe they've taken a page from SimCity, and the higher the crime rate, the more trash shows up in the area.
It's possible. I mean, you never know. I mean, it depends on how far they want to go with how they want to change the world to how you act with it. Because by the looks of it, the way that they're going to do the dynamic events and stuff like that, you can actually help people rather than
hinder them.
Like you see, there was a lot of the times where you'd see muggers and stuff run past, and you'd see the police end up running after them. But if you helped them, they wouldn't do anything. If you shot them, they'd shoot you. But if you just punched them and knocked them on the floor, they'd just come up and arrest them, and you wouldn't get any sort of wanted level or anything like that. But I mean, it looks like they're going to go sort of like that direction again as well.
Are they going to have territories like they did with I think it was San Andreas, where you could?
I hope not. The gang wars and stuff like that. I mean,
that was a good concept, except it would come up like while you were already on a mission, so you had no choice but to ignore it, and then you lose it.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind having it so that you have to activate them, or it's you that are taking over different territories rather than somebody trying to take them back off you. Or they put in some sort of system that it doesn't happen while you're on mission.
Yeah.
Because that would that was annoying when I mean, I remember when I 100%ed San Andreas that I was after the one. There was one little slither that was just sort of like a side alley, and I was on like 99.8% completed, and I was like, where the hell is this last gang? I've got to do? And it was like a tiny side street that was just one.
And it was
slither.
so small that there were never any gang members on that turf for you to be able to start the war with.
Yeah. I think it took me another like 4 or 5 days to do that, to actually find anybody to do anything with.
There was a couple other things that I saw in this screenshot before you go to the next one that I pulled up the full resolution version of it, and there is a girl in the background in a white shirt with both of her arms up, and her head's looking down, so she's obviously texting on the phone. And then 2 people over to the right from her, past the girl with the pink, that actually looks like Franklin.
This, which obviously points towards that this is going to be playing as a different character. Yet Franklin still carries on doing what he does. I mean, because they have said that they'll just carry on doing what they need to do, haven't they, until you want to go back and play with them again.
Yeah, they have.
And then when you switch into a different character, you're just plopped right into whatever they're doing at the moment, and it could be anything.
I mean, I'm not sure about this lady in the pink here, but it does look like she's got a jumper wrapped around her waist. I've zoomed in on it a little bit, but it's going to go blurry. It does look like she's got a jumper tied around her waist or something. Or maybe it's just a shadow in the background or something behind her, but to me it does look like she's got something tied around her waist anyway. Let's get to the next one. This is just one of the shots from one of the
it's a shot from the trailer.
The lighting is nice as well, and the way that the building's only half lit up and some of the windows aren't lit up in the background makes it look as though it's going to be a bit of a better breathable city. Rather than, we won't stay on this one too long because there's not much to really say about this one.
No, not at all. I mean, it's a nice shot from the trailer. It shows a nice grip of the phone in the animation.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Not just flat hands like GTA 3. Let's skip on to the next one. This is a sort of zoomed out view to the one that we saw before, with him recruiting his band together again. with a helicopter in the background.
There's really not much going on here either.
No. We talked about this one already. More lens flare on the next one.
This is one of the moments from the that they've spoke about, where he takes the gallon of petrol, pours it over the vehicle, and then sets it on fire.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, a nice fire effects in that, but
He has got a tattoo on his arm again there.
yeah.
So tattoos might be back in the game again.
Well, don't forget this guy is ex-military, so
Yeah.
it's likely that he'd have
Possible that he's
tattoos
already
anyway.
got them anyway, yeah. But then again, it is a possibility that they do. Well, they will put it back in again.
Yep.
The cinders as well coming off the car as well that you can just see just at the. Looks really nice. And whether you're going to be able to buy drink or what, I don't know as well.
I was rather disappointed with the fact that the whole frame in the car isn't. It's still completely intact. All that really blew off were the doors, and looks like a couple of the fenders, and everything just turned black.
Yeah, yeah.
And if the car explodes, then it's not going to look like that.
No. It does look like some of the stuff has dropped off the bottom and that, but it's not done as half as much as what we'd expect it to be. I mean, this is a good example as well, is that not every building is going to be. It looks like it's going to be able to go into, because you can't really see through the windows on that liquor market there. I mean, it looks like you can get on the roof, but
And there is a ladder.
yeah, but you're not going to be able to get inside it by the looks of it, even though it does say open. We won't stay on this one very long again either, because it's just an Audi again.
Yep, one we've already seen, so
It's the same exact car.
Yeah, skip that to the next one. The shadows on this look really nice as well. There's not a lot of light rays and stuff coming through the trees. It just seems to be all flare rather than rays.
yeah.
It would be nice to if they got rid of the flare and added a few light rays in there. That would have looked a lot better, I think.
One of the things again, you saw the animation, you see someone leaning against the wall.
Yeah.
You see someone running. Those two obviously in conversation, and it looks like a nice little area of the city.
Yeah.
Again, showing off that diversity and the colour palette.
Yeah. The different types of cars as well. Like we see, there's some cars in here that we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
I mean, G will go over these, because I'm not au fait with exactly what they are, but
We actually weren't able to completely identify anything really in this one. The SUV in front of the bike kind of looks like a Landstalker, but it's not.
No.
It could be just a Huntley. And then one thing that I did notice, that if you go back to where those two women were, where the one was leaning against the wall, and you look over to the left, just a little bit behind this little monument thing, you can see a taxi that's both blue and yellow.
Yeah.
So that's falling in line with the police cars, and that the taxis appear to be different colors depending on the location in the city.
Also, if you look where my mouse pointer is now, it looks like somebody's doing the gardening.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right next to that.
Yeah. I mean, that's got quite a long name underneath there, so. Underneath.
Well,
the
it
SUV
could be
there.
Huntley Sport, I believe,
Yeah.
was the official name.
I wouldn't mind seeing the Zybotsu in there. That would be nice, because we haven't seen that. They've hinted at it on the radio numerous times, but we've never actually seen it.
What, you mean the Maibatsu?
Yeah, that one.
I think that's just sort of like made that legend.
The monstrosity.
Yeah.
It would be nice to see that. I mean, even if it's just a one-off that's in a car showroom or something somewhere, or because you don't even get to see the factories or anything where they're made.
No.
So it'd be nice to see something like that.
I am going to have to warn you guys, I'm going to have to head off soon.
We'll skip through these a bit quickly, and then that's just a parachute one. We not really just draw distance again. Buildings.
Yeah, you get to see more of the skyscrapers in the city.
I don't think there's many more left anyway. A bit of action on the on the road there with them actually flicking ones up at the police behind him. Whether that's going to be something you're going to be able to do, or whether that's just going to be a cutscene again, I don't know.
You notice there's a police car, but behind that it appears to be some kind of paddy wagon. Doesn't exactly look big enough to be an enforcer, but it could be another
Yeah.
SUV.
Yeah.
And we think this car, since it kind of looks like a Ferrari, is the new Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, it's possible that behind it could be the concept of the police Humvees again, like what they had the Noose driving in 4. It's possible. Skip to the next one. There's the hotel.
Now, is this based off any locations in Los Angeles? Does anyone know?
I believe so, but somebody in the chat might know, and they might say it before.
It looks pretty distinctive.
Yeah.
And we know what Rockstar are like for obviously taking things and renaming it. I mean, this is what the Richmond Hotel.
Richmond, okay.
Or it
See,
could
I don't
just-
know.
It could
I
just
don't
be
know
owned
Los
by a very
Angeles.
rich man.
Yeah. See, I don't know anything about Los Angeles or its
No, I
culture
don't.
or whatever. So this is any names that are new to me.
Yeah. Is there a Hilton hotel in LA?
Most
Possibly
likely.
be that. Whether you're going to be able to go in that or not, I would assume so, because it looks like he's driving out of it. So
Yeah.
it looks like, I mean, even if you can just get into the reception, it doesn't look like you can get into any of the rooms or anything. It might just be one of them sort of like reception areas. But
We'll wait and see.
that's where you take your high-priced hookers
Yep.
before you kill them. And there's the one that you were on about, weren't it, G, about the ATV tyres.
Not this one exactly. It was Trevor. It was if you go on our site, Screen 43. It's Trevor on an ATV, being chased by a police car.
The ATV with the license plate on it as well. There's him on the again different colour police cars, blue ones rather than black ones.
That might just be the sky reflection.
Possible.
Mm.
It looks like there's a lot more detail on the bike with the sponsors and stuff compared to the other ones that we've seen beforehand as well. This is just a fairly more zoomed out version of the one that we've seen before, with the shops on it again. So
Yeah.
assuming that there's going to be, I mean, we're looking inside the shop the way that the clothes inside the shop look. I would assume that you're only going to be able to look at the stuff that's outside, because it doesn't look very.
It doesn't look
resolution on it
very
doesn't.
fully modelled, but
No.
again, you know, that it looks just so much like what it would look like to walk down that sort of street.
Yeah.
But since this is zoomed out, you can actually see over on the right-hand side there are people doing like pull-ups on
Yeah.
the bars, and some guys sitting on some kind of piece of equipment.
Yeah.
Another thing I like that pretty much every single person is wearing something different. Like there aren't many repeated character models anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible that the faces don't look too terribly different, but they've got a more random assorted of clothes and stuff. Because I mean, this lady at the back here in the blue seems to be wearing the same hat as this lady here, but just with a different. I mean, this one here, the lady in the pink here, with the trousers on, looks like she could be shopping as well, because she looks like she's actually browsing, looking
Yeah.
into the shop window. Rather than, and hopefully you can go surfing. Let's go surfing. This one shows off the draw distance very, very well. I mean,
That's a really gorgeous
there's
one.
no way that it's going to be like this, but I mean that it really shows off. Most of one part of the city, I would assume. I wouldn't assume that there's much more to one area of the city than what you can probably see there, because it does look like it goes over to the more derelict areas on the left-hand side. It looks like that because we saw on the I didn't point it out, but we saw when he was climbing up the Vinewood sign that there was a what looked like an observatory up in the far corner, so that could possibly be where they are.
Yeah,
Be where they are there.
that would make sense.
There you go. That's the one that you're on about, isn't it? That one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can tell that the tyres haven't been Unless they're going to make the tyres wear down, you have to buy new ones. No, I hope they don't do that.
But you can see that the police car looks pretty full in that one.
Yeah, it's two. There seems to be two in the front. I'm not sure. Can't really see it at the back, but that's all of the ones that we've gone through. I mean, I do have others, but they're just the aircraft and stuff like that. We'll quickly just show the show one of the ones of the what's it called? The Hydra.
Oh yes.
There we go. Dogfighting with the Hydras in multiplayer. Yes, please.
Oh yes. That's going to be so much fun to fly around in the single player.
It looks like it's got missiles and bombs on it as well.
That's going to be so much fun to fly around in single player.
It's going to be. It will be a fantastic. It's just, I mean, the point that I was going to make earlier about weapon customization. If you look there, they've got a laser sight on the gun, so that was pointing me towards possibly you might be able to do some extra stuff to your guns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no screenshots of any of the main characters having it, and damage to the police vehicle there with only one light smashed as well in the background.
The texture for the grille on the front of the inverters is incomplete, both on the left and right side.
Yeah,
on the bottom.
At the bottom and here. And vapid graffiti. Right, we'll stop that there. We've talked enough. X has been quiet. He's probably fell asleep. Are you still here, mate?
Yeah, I'm still here.
You're still here. You're still here. Right, being as you've got to go in a second, JC, we'll wrap up.
Indeed.
And, what we should just go through now is a few shameless plugs for ourselves and whatnot. I mean, obviously, my YouTube channel is DrRodneyMckay, so if you want to go there and check that out, my Twitter account is GreyWolves360. If you want to go follow me there and watch out for new videos from myself. X, you want to go next?
No, I'm good.
No, you don't want to promote yourself?
Oh, you could catch me out on Twitter at Xgrad_gaming, or you can also check out my YouTube channel at youtube.com/Xgrad02.
And JC, you want to go?
Yep, my website is pwgaming.co.uk. We post all the latest gaming news, previews, reviews, that sort of thing. And we've just done an entire video run-through of Hitman Absolution. I'm on Twitter and Facebook at pwgaming.
And then we've got the warehouse.
You just did it for me, so.
There you go.
Yeah, so go to www.gtawh.com for this and much. There you go. Look at that. I'm the only one who got an actual. Is that live or is that just a picture?
Yeah, it's live, mate. Yeah.
Here goes my fancy little rotator going there. So yeah, go to GTA Warehouse. You need about Grand Theft Auto. I mean, we've been around for 11 years plus now, so we kind of know what we're doing.
Please sign up to the forums because they are dead.
We have been around since just after GTA 3's PC release with this version, but GTA Warehouse has been around since before GTA 3's actual release.
One day before.
Yeah.
One day before. You're actually fairly big in the Rockstar community as well, aren't you? So
we are like the Uber veterans.
Yeah, they were mentioned in the GTA 3 book, if I remember rightly, on the back cover.
Of all the websites that were listed in the listed in the GTA 3 book, just us and GTA Network are the only ones that are still online.
Yeah, I believe even Garanga's gone now.
Garanga was a fairly big one as well, wasn't it? Wasn't very well laid out.
I think their servers actually been bought out by Rockstar as a means of preserving it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because apparently that was the very first fan site, and Rockstar wanted to keep it on.
Yeah.
They bought it. But yeah, it's really cool to have been around for so long. Rockstar has invited us to quite a few events, going back to 2008. and they pay for everything, so that's even better.
and you get free swag.
We get free swag
my
and free vacations.
Yeah.
If anybody who's listening is interested in information or photos from any of the past events that we've attended, you can go to our homepage and then scroll all the way down to the bottom and click on the events link, and you can read all about it. We've been to their offices quite a few times. They've let us play GTA 4, Red Dead, L.A. Noire, Chinatown Wars, Max Payne 3.
I'd say Max Payne
episodes.
was the one I went to.
But yeah, just recently James was actually invited to come with us to the Max Payne 3 event this past April. So that was pretty cool. And hopefully they're going to have another one for GTA 5.
Did you manage to get your postcards from there? Because you were going to see if you could get some postcards, weren't you, from Max Payne postcards?
That was a joke that I made that I don't think you got.
Son of a bitch.
Actually, now that you mentioned that, I remember talking to James like after I mentioned the postcards and you replied about it. I remember talking to James like, "Wow, he really didn't get the joke, did he?"
We are just going to do a few more shout outs here to other YouTube channels. Tepid Gaming. He asked me if I could do him a quick shout out, which I shall do. Salis, he's got his top 12 games of 2012 up there at the moment, so check him out. He's fairly funny. We've got Sniper Raccoon, which is a friend of mine in Xgrads. If you could go and check him out as well. He does a lot of Call of Duty videos, which some people may not like, but he speaks the truth on most of them, so check them out. We've also got KLJ Mad Dog, so if you can check him out as well. He does a lot of PlanetSide 2 stuff with me. We do a lot of with all four of us, myself, Xgrad, Sniper Raccoon and Mad Dog are doing a Dungeon Defenders playthrough at the moment, which that goes up on each of our channels Monday through Thursday, me being the Monday. X, are you Tuesday? No, you're Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Mad Dog's Tuesday and Raccoon is on the Thursday. We have a lot of fun. You check them out for us. And one last one. He's not on my list. Why have I not got him open? Why have I not got him open? Where is he? Mr. Scarlet Prophet. I don't have you open. There he is. There he is. Scarlet does Call of Duty Black Ops 2 videos again. He sounds like he's in a toilet most of the time, but I think that's just because his microphone's terrible.
Oh, he's recording from inside a toilet.
Oh, yeah, he's recording from inside a toilet.
That's a unique pull.
Yeah,
he actually has a flat
flush,
panel
I
screen
suppose.
instead of a mirror in the toilet.
Yeah. Plays Call of Duty in the toilet. Yeah, go check out these guys. They are fantastic. And I'm not sure whether this is going to be a regular thing. This is just going to go up as a Let's Talk on my channel for the most part. But I don't know if people watch it, then we might make it a regular thing with different guests every so often talking about different things. But I have been DrRodneyMckay from Grey Wheels 360, Xgrad, JCM from PW Gaming, and G-Wizz from GTA Warehouse, and we'll probably talk to you soon. Thanks a lot. See ya. Bye.
Bye.
See you later.